Yes, sir. I think we live. It's your boy Dabrand knows. Back with another one. You know how we do. The brand HGM knows Entertainment Forum for public interest in current events. Let's go. Come on. Give it up. Got a few updates for you. They saying your boy Jay-Z's in the Epstein files. And we're gonna look into these 20,000 Somalians that swamped the streets over there in Minnesota. Might be viewers' choice tonight. But anyway, let's get into something right about now. Drop it down. Now that you know that your boy, the HGM Brando knows, I'm going to go ahead and start the show. Like I told y'all, your boy Jay-Z, they saying is in the Epstein files. We're going to go over here and check out what's going on with the Somalians. We're going to see what's going on with your boy Don Lemon, because I think he protesting the fact that he got locked up after he ran up in the church and violated the people that were praying. But anyway, we're going to get into this, you know what I'm saying? With no further delay, let's give us a moment of silence. And there you go.
Breaking the splits down, getting my residuals, moving like Chris Brown. I keep it original, you know how my shit sound. I'm way more mature, but I ain't put the blick down. They looking like, wow, this nigga say blick now? Not really, motherfucker, it just rhymes with Chris Brown. When I come around, they all gonna skip town like they owe me money or tried to Obi-Wan me. Then I went Anakin, now they all panicking. You could be perfectly dressed, it won't make you a man again. You don't even smell the kind of shit that you standing in. Jumped out the window, don't know what you landed in. Cop blocking motherfuckers made me switch up the plan again. Okay, guess what? Nigga, I was built for this. I was born for this. They won't admit that they watch me like a porno flick. The rap game is a toilet. I be on some shit. I'm beyond your shit and all that other corny shit. Me in the game on some holy matrimony shit. This my anniversary, some Tony shit. Load the clip, do a spin. Grab my dick on some Michael Jackson shit. Nueve.
The OG 9 spitter. Give it up.
Jay-Z is being accused of fleeing the country with Beyonce because he knew that these Epstein files were going to come out. I got some information in this live stream that I'm going to show you guys that if you ever forgot why you watch a Will Evans live stream, you're going to remember today. My name is Will Evans. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. If you've never been here before, we have a very specific way of doing things.
Pause. That's Will Evans, y'all. Give it up for Will Evans. He gonna put on the commentary for you today. I think it was very interesting the way he did it. And I thought I'd bring it to you. And then after a little bit of that, we're gonna get into a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. You heard? So with no further delay, let's get back into the feature presentation.
Make sure you keep it respectful with each other in the chat. It's subscriber-only chat. If you're not a subscriber, you're not going to be able to be in the comment section. And we always start our live streams with a prayer. I got a lot of information to get to today with you guys. We're going to talk about Jay-Z, his involvement in the Epstein files. We got some new footage from Jeffrey Epstein himself that was included in the Epstein files that just came out. The government initially said that it was 3 million files that they reviewed and said this is appropriate for the public to have in regards to Jeffrey Epstein. Now it's being said that 6 million files actually exist, and we only got 2.7 million of those 6 million files. So new files have been released, which include a new video from Jeffrey Epstein. And in that new video, he was asked some very interesting things, and I'm gonna play it for you guys in a second. Also, we're gonna talk about Nicki Minaj and what she said about Jay-Z being a predator and how she kind of went off and she went on a rant, and we're gonna go through that and just break it down and see what she had to say about the situation. And we got a few other things. I'm also gonna get into Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah Winfrey a little bit in this live stream, because we got a full live stream on that tomorrow.
Let's get it.
But I want to get you guys started and get you guys kind of primed for that live stream we got coming tomorrow. So you're gonna get some of that information in this live stream as well. And then we're gonna close this thing out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow after that. So here we go, man.
Let's go.
Let's start the live stream the way we're supposed to start.
Facts. So y'all heard what was getting ready to go down. So I hope you got your popcorn ready, your drinks in hand, because we about to get it popping. 40 Wolves. Hope they got their pen and paper, right? Let's go. We on it. Yeah. Give them the slogan. Give them the slogan.
I am your father.
Here we go.
And you weren't paying attention to the news. Jay-Z was mentioned in the Epstein files. And there were some shocking claims that were made. A statement was made, and the federal documents revealed that there were unverified allegations from an anonymous FBI hotline call that it was going back even decades. When this story came out, it kind of shook the internet. Everybody knows that that's a huge story. If you guys wasn't on the internet the last few days, you didn't get it. But, you know, like I said, the Justice Department dropped over 3 million pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. And the names inside the document and inside all the documents pretty much caused some internet frenzy. Among those mentioned was Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, alongside disgraced film producer Harvey Weinstein and rapper Pusha T. The massive document release included 2,000 videos, 180,000 images, and all these came as a result of the Epstein Files Transparency Act passed by Congress in November 2025. The federal government had faced mounting pressure to make these records public. So obviously everybody was on the internet saying you need to make these files public. 2.7 million files came out, according to reports. They say it was 3 million, but it was more like 2.7 million officially. And they say 6 million total is what came out. And we got some interesting information about Jay-Z's involvement. The context matters here, though. The article says Jay-Z and Pusha T don't appear on Epstein's personal flight logs or his flight records. So that's something worth noting that they want us to know. On one of the documents, it details a call from an unidentified woman who contacted the FBI Operations Center claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse. According to her account, an unknown man abducted her from her home in 1996. She reported waking up in what she believed was Epstein's Florida mansion in the presence of Weinstein and Jay-Z. The caller described being abducted 7 times and abused on multiple occasions. She said she believed she was drugged each time, which affected her ability to recall specific details. She identified Pusha T as one of the several people she described as handlers who befriended victims. The woman also expressed fear for her safety, telling the FBI she believed she was being surveilled and stalked by those involved. Now, people are questioning her credibility, and the reason why they're questioning her credibility is because they're saying, how well known was Jay-Z and Pusha T in 1996? My question is this. It's not how well known they were from that perspective. My question would be, if they weren't that well known, how would she know to name them? That would be my question. Because this call was made in 1996, according to this report. So if you want to make the argument that, well, nobody even knew who Jay-Z was back then, well, how would she know to say his name then? If nobody knew who he was back then, how would this woman know to say his name? I think that's a valid question to ask. Don't you? What do you guys think in the chat? So because of this release, people believe that Jay-Z preemptively left the United States and fled the country, buying 58 acres of UK real estate. And the deal has been done by now. So this was a huge story when it came out. People were saying, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they just bought, 60 acres in the UK. Why? And nobody really understood why they would leave the US back then. But now it's starting to be reported that maybe there's a reason why. And maybe this is the reason why. The article said Beyonce and Jay-Z are reportedly set to add the UK, the United Kingdom, to their real estate portfolio amid the rumors of their closing on a 58-acre estate in Cotswolds. According to the insiders, the superstar couple is purchasing 58 acres of farmland in the region with planning permission to build a lavish country retreat. So it seems like they're trying to build everything they need right here. We ain't never got to leave. We got 58 acres. We're going to put a retreat on the land. We're going to have our house here and different things like that. It says they were in negotiation on the price and it isn't on the market anymore, which suggests that the deal is done. The architectural drawings revealed that it was, quote, spectacular rural estate the Carters plan to build that will offer seamless indoor-outdoor living, combining timeless materials with contemporary architecture. So the land that got approved for a lake, a woodland, was sold off, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They just telling us pretty much about the real estate right here. Now, another part of this that's extremely interesting that I thought you guys would be interested in knowing is the way that Ellen DeGeneres is located very close to Jay-Z and Beyonce out there. The article says located close to friends, Ellen DeGeneres and what is it? Portia de Rossi? Is that Ellen? I think that's Ellen's woman or whatever. They say is located close to them. Let me put it back on screen for you guys. And I guess Simon Cowell and the Beckhams are neighbors as well.
This is the radio portion.
Beyonce felt that it would be an ideal UK home for her family, and it would be away from the city when they're in the country. Now, if anybody has been paying attention to this Epstein story, everybody kind of knows that one of the accusations that's been going around is Ellen DeGeneres may be exposed next. And people have been saying this. And before I even get into that, I want to show you guys really quick what 50 Cent had to say about Jay-Z and this whole situation. When 50 Cent found out about it, he said, damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I got to do a doc on this ish. He also said, in response to Jay-Z getting caught up in all this, he said, I know I'm late on this, but this is kind of crazy. What do you got to do to get thrown in that mix? And I think that's a question that a lot of us are asking. Like, people go, well, just because his name is mentioned in, bro, what do you got to do to get your name mentioned in the Epstein files? Like, how involved or not involved do you have to be? Because I don't think that's a normal thing. I don't think everybody is just getting thrown in this mix. Do you guys think that? I don't. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. So if his name is involved, and on top of that, Jay keeps getting caught up and getting involved in these different things, man, like these different allegations. Over the last, he just got caught up in a lawsuit, and I think he got the lawsuit dismissed, but over the Diddy situation. So it's like, whether it's true or not, it starts to become repetitive. It starts to become like, okay, hold on. Why do you keep getting caught up? Why does your name keep getting involved in these different things if it's true that you have nothing to do with it, right? And so I think that's why people are going, hold on, bro. What's really going on here? Now, I think it's interesting that the real estate that he's buying is near Ellen DeGeneres. And I think we should talk about why really quick.
Here's the truth about permanent teeth in 24 hours. They're not shortcuts. They're carefully engineered solutions based on science.
Obviously, a lot of people feel that Ellen DeGeneres is somehow involved in this. And I believe that that's her fault as well when I show you what I'm about to show you guys, man. Now, this started, the public started looking at it when Aaron Rodgers, NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers, was on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he made a comment about Ellen DeGeneres and her show set being the background for her set being Epstein Island. And I thought when that happened, I was like, oh, like I didn't even catch that. He caught it though. And a lot of you guys on the internet caught it as well, which is probably why he caught it. But Aaron Rodgers was doing an interview with Joe Rogan. And the article says that he found himself at the center of controversy following his recent appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience. He stunned the listeners by making a bold claim that connected the set of Ellen DeGeneres' show to Jeffrey Epstein's infamous island, a comparison that Joe Rogan quickly rejected. But when I show you guys the picture, you're going to be like, nah, that's the same thing. Aaron Rodgers drew a bold link between the set and the island temple. During the episode, the conversation turned to Epstein Island, a place long shrouded in mystery and criminal allegations involving sex trafficking and abuse. We all know what Epstein Island is about. Rogan displayed a photo of the particular temple structure located on Epstein Island, and Aaron Rodgers pointed out that he perceived, or what he perceived to be, a disturbing resemblance. And the resemblance was to Ellen DeGeneres' set. This is a quote. Show him the image of the temple that was on the island. Look at it. That's what Joe Rogan said to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers replied, quote, oh, well. He said, oh, well, you know where that is too, right? He said a similar image to that. It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore. When Rogan asked, he said, oh, Ellen? Was that Ellen? Really? Bro, the fact that Joe Rogan went straight to Ellen out of all the talk shows, you know it's Ellen, bro. Aaron Rodgers confirmed his implication, subtly connecting the daytime talk show set design with Epstein Island, one of the most sinister landmarks in recent criminal history, the article says. Joe Rogan dismissed the comparison, calling it a coincidence. Now, let me show you guys what it looked like. And she looks actually kind of crazy right now, too. If you haven't seen Ellen in a while, Ellen kind of aging quick, bro. She kind of aging quick. That's what she looked like right now. Anyways, let me show you guys what the set looked like. And you tell me if you think this is very, very close. Check it out. Let me put it full screen for you. Y'all see that? So that's the temple on Epstein Island. I think it's a Jewish temple or something like that. And y'all can see, if you look down in the bottom on that right side, it looks very similar. And the interesting thing about this as well is when you look at this situation,
picture, man.
Who was on the show that day?
P.
Is
Diddy.
the first thing I asked. Who did Ellen have on the show that day? Because I thought that would be interesting.
I think it's P.
Right?
Diddy.
And when I went and looked, I found out that
P. Diddy.
Oprah Winfrey was on the show that day.
Winfrey, okay.
And we talked about this previously. And I seen you guys in the chat saying, you know, if a woman ever gets exposed for this, it's going to be either Ellen or Oprah. And I'm wondering, is this why you guys are saying that in the chat? So you see, this is the same set, same background. Oprah's on the show. And I thought that was interesting as well, because Oprah has been accused of different things. And I guess Ellen had this set up for a while. She had this background on her show for a while. So it wasn't like it was just one episode, it was multiple episodes. But she had Oprah on the show with this in the background. And Oprah has a very questionable, you know, people question Oprah because of some of the things that she said regarding predators in the past. And if you don't remember that, let me refresh you guys. Put this on the screen real quick. Check it out.
This is what so many people don't understand. A big part of the confusion and shame for child victims is that the attention and the seduction from the predator, who is probably going to be somebody you know.
Right.
In order for it to work, it has to be somebody you know, somebody you admire, somebody you respect, or maybe even love. And it feels good. I mean, if you're 7 years old and somebody, which I was trying to say this to my friends who had children, you're 7 years old and someone is stroking your penis, it feels good. Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good.
So you guys can imagine why people like, what?
What's wrong with Oprah,
If you're
man?
7 years old and somebody is stroking, it feels
Somebody
good.
stroking your penis, they're child abusing you. It
If
doesn't
the
feel
predator is
good.
any good,
And when I first said this years ago, people were like, you're crazy because everybody wants to believe it's like sexual assault and you're being thrown up against the wall and you're being raped.
It really
And I have
is.
said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you feel like you're a part of it. I mean,
bro.
She
What?
giving abusing
If the
lessons
abuser's
to a
any
room
good.
full of people. What's wrong with her?
I know Oprah has went through her own thing. She spoke out about how she went through sexual abuse when she was 14 years old and got pregnant, and ended up the baby ended up passing away later on after she gave birth. And that was one of her secrets, her biggest secrets in life. This still sounds crazy. It sounds crazy.
Crazy as a motherfucker.
I don't even know how you put. Some people want to dismiss this and say, "Well, the context." And I'm always a proponent. I'm always
a proponent.
One of the most vocal people about, hey, context matters.
Yeah.
I don't like the way this sounds. I don't care what the context is. I don't like how she said she was trying to convince her other friends who had children that this is the case. And everybody around her say she crazy too. So it's like, it's not just like we saying it. I mean, you got to remember, you talking about children. A 7-year-old child she referenced in this video. Come on, bro. I think it's just absolutely crazy. One of the new videos that has come out in the Epstein files is Jeffrey Epstein himself. And he was asked an interesting question about, is he the devil himself? And his answer was very interesting. I'm going to play this video for you guys. But one thing I want to say before I play it is, initially, I thought this video was AI. And it was confirmed by NBC that it's not AI. This is a real video from the files.
Yeah, because the way his
and
lips was moving and shit. So
I thought,
like the devil,
because I thought it was AI, maybe a lot of other people did too.
Yeah, I did too.
And I believe that that is one of the purposes for AI existing for certain people. I believe that AI exists partially, so when we see something that's real, we say it's fake. Mm-hmm. And when we see something that's fake, we say it's real. Now, people kind of expect that second part. People expect when they see something fake, people expect that there's going to be people out there trying to create fake things and make them look real. But nobody ever questions the things that will be real, and we question and consider them fake. And I believe that that's one of the purposes that the government is going to use AI for. So when you see Jeffrey Epstein walking down the street somewhere alive, you'll be like, oh, this is AI.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And AI has gotten really, really good. If you don't know, like it's gotten really good, really good. And so I believe that that's one of the purposes that AI exists right now. So when we see something that's real, we'll call it fake. Instead of being like, no, this is really the video. Like, this really happened. Listen to what Epstein himself had to say when he was asked this question.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
the lowest.
I'm the lowest. Your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is somebody knows
smart?
The devil's
He knows
brilliant.
the devil's smart.
You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Bro, the way he nodded while trying to say no, like, bro, this dude, super predator.
Super.
He should be in the dictionary next to the word predator.
Look at his face.
Like,
right?
I thought it was a very
crazy,
straightforward question, but I thought that was extremely interesting, that a lot of us thought it was AI. But it turned out that that was a real video and a real interview. Salute to the interviewer for even asking the question, because a lot of people is cowards and they won't even ask.
Yeah.
There's been so many people taught.
I thought it was AI too, because the way the lips was moving and shit. But yeah, they said it was a real video.
Up in this Epstein saga, one of those people is the former Seahawks quarterback, Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got tied up in it, and he had to make a statement. It says former Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson took to social media Sunday evening to deny any affiliation with the late financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after emails released by the U.S. Justice Department suggested that Wilson once considered buying one of Epstein's private planes. Russell Wilson's statement was this, quote, "Nope, absolutely not. Not today, Satan," Russell Wilson wrote. He said, quote, "Some random plane broker tried to sell me a plane. I had no idea whose plane and never bought the plane. Never talked, nor never met the man. Thank God I didn't." Now, this is amongst millions of pages of documents that the Justice Department released, obviously. So Russell Wilson had to respond to this because people was obviously about to get on Russell Wilson bumper too. Like, bro, what is this about? You doing negotiations with Jeffrey Epstein, bro? Elon Musk responded to it as well after he was found sending crazy emails to Jeffrey Epstein directly. And now he's saying that the emails don't matter. Elon Musk is now claiming that the Epstein files are, quote, a distraction and that it doesn't matter after he was busted begging to come to one of Jeffrey Epstein's parties. The 54-year-old billionaire had long been a vocal advocate for releasing the Epstein files and arresting the late sexual predator's clients. He didn't think he would be exposed. I think he thought that these documents were going to be redacted. They'll never see my name. And then these emails came out. But after the emails in which Musk planned to visit Epstein Island for the wildest party, that's his words, the wildest party, were exposed, his tune has changed.
$426 billion.
And that right there was some bull.
What matters is not release of some subset of the Epstein files, but rather the prosecution of those who committed heinous crimes with Epstein. Now the files being released don't matter, but you was pressing the issue for the files to be released. It was all good just a week ago, huh? He said, when there is at least one arrest, some justice will have been done. If not, this is all performative, nothing but a distraction. Bro, we don't care about none of that. We ain't trying to hear your voice, bro. You on these emails talking crazy. The article says that the emails written in November 2012, in which Epstein asked Musk, how many people will you be for the heli to the island? Musk responded, probably just Tallulah and me. What day and night will be the wildest party on our island? And Tallulah is Tallulah Riley. This is a guy that Elon Musk married twice and divorced twice in 2010s. A month later, he emailed again to Epstein on Christmas morning, asking if Epstein could help him let loose in the party scene. So this is 2013. Or excuse me, let me read the Christmas one to you guys first. On Christmas 2012, Elon Musk said, "Do you have any parties planned? I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. The invitation is much appreciated, but a peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for." That's what Elon Musk sent to Epstein. And then there was another exchange in 2013 where he was planning a visit to Epstein's island again. And so Epstein told him there's always space for him on the island. So obviously, a lot of people have been caught up in this, man. A lot of people. Epstein's brothers come out and he said that, he believes that Epstein was murdered. A lot of people say Epstein is not murdered nor took himself out, but he's still walking around. But Epstein's brothers say that he's going to release some claims soon, proving that it was a murder. And so we're going to wait on that. But he said he got some autopsy reports. And so I want to get to this latest update. I wanted to move through that because I want to get to this latest update and talk about this, man, because Trump is threatening to sue Trevor Noah over a joke about Epstein Island that was made at the Grammys. Now, the Grammy Awards just happened, if you guys missed it. And Trevor Noah, he made some jokes. Trump, who's been mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files, is now threatening to sue. The article says President Donald Trump is threatening to sue Trevor Noah over a joke at last night's Grammy Awards, saying in an overnight post on Truth Social that the comedian's crack claiming he visited Jeffrey Epstein's island was false and defamatory. Noah, who hosted the award show, had poked at Trump's relationship with the late sex offender and the president's ambitions for the United States to take over Greenland. Okay. He said, quote, "That is a Grammy that every artist wants almost as much as Trump wants Greenland," which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein Island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out on with Bill Clinton. So that was the joke. He needed a new island to go to with Bill Clinton. So in the post that Trump put up in Truth Social, Trump said that he never visited Epstein's Island, nor anywhere close until tonight's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused of being there, not even by the fake news media. Epstein had also previously denied that former President Bill Clinton had ever visited the island. And so Trump said Noah's a total loser. Better get his facts straight and get them facts straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of money. So it wasn't just Trump that was upset with Trevor Noah over some things that he said. Nicki Minaj was upset. And obviously Nicki Minaj, if you haven't been paying attention, Nicki Minaj is doing her rounds. You know, she just got her citizenship, gold card from Trump. And so she's been defending Trump and speaking out for Trump. And I believe that her Christian faith has been a big reason why. And obviously, as a sister in Christ, I love Nicki. Ain't nobody gonna get me to talk bad about Nicki unless she do something wild. And I know that she got some weirdo. She, you know, all due respect, Nicki, you got some weird cases with the people around you. There's people that got weird cases around Nicki. Her brother, her husband. You know what I'm saying? But I like Nicki personally until she do something that make me say I don't really like her. You know. Anyways, and and they've been trying to make us feel like Nicki Minaj is crazy for a minute, and I always get kind of my antennas go up when they try to make us believe somebody's crazy. Like when they did that with Martin Lawrence, they did it with Dave Chappelle, they do it with Kanye West. Now they're trying to do it with Nicki Minaj. They tried to do it with Candace Owens. They tried to do it with anybody that just disagrees with the narrative that's popular or just says something that is false, but it turns out to be right a lot of times. Like they always try to make us feel like those people are crazy. So Trevor Noah poked fun at Nicki Minaj's headline, making friendship with Donald Trump at the Grammys. During Noah's opening monologue, he walked out, greeting nominees and previous winners alike before calling out one face missing, Nicki Minaj. He said, Nicki Minaj is not here. She's not here. Noah, 41 years old, said, where did it go? Oh, he said she's still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. He then went into a vocal impression of the president, saying, Nikki, I have the biggest ASS. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nikki. I know they say it's you, but it's actually me. So that's the joke that Trevor Noah made. Nikki ain't one to bite her tongue. So when he made this joke, you know, Nikki started posting things, and this is one of the things that she posted.
More into social and search? After years in marketing, Alex just realized that while he's been pouring more and more money into
hat that says, and it seems to be a pink MAGA hat, where it says Nikki was right about everything. Right? And then she just started going crazy on Trevor Noah, Jay-Z, and different people. She said, as they do their ritual tonight, God Almighty will reveal himself to them. The ritual will backfire on them. God will not be mocked. Blessed is the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Every tongue that rises up against me in judgment shall be condemned and put to shame. Watch. So she started going off on the Grammys, but then, you know, she said this. Maybe I should discuss the brainwashing techniques they use. Imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out here with a 16-year-old in this day and age, and how y'all would have had his head on a platter. The guy was hugging and humping on teens in broad daylight. Next, I'll get on the owner of the Shade Room and more. So what is she talking about? Who's she talking about? She then posted this picture, said, what in the F, child predator of Jay-Z and Aaliyah when Aaliyah was young. Same thing that people get on R. Kelly about. This is the picture she posted. Jay-Z was about 30 right here. I don't know how old Aaliyah was right here, but you guys can see why this is kind of like what's going on. I think that's Diddy right there, right? That's Diddy. I'm pretty sure. So you see Diddy, Aaliyah, and Jay-Z all together. Nicki called him a child predator. And then she posted this as well. She started kind of posting a bunch of different things. She said, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate them and kill them as a form of a blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. She said, are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat, again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times, since I was trying not to say something else. And she kept going. Let me read. Let me see if I can find the full thing real quick. Hold on. But she kept posting these pictures. And she also posted this picture of Jay-Z and the guy that says he's Jay-Z's son and went to court trying to get Jay-Z to take a DNA test that Jay-Z never took. And a lot of people say that this is karma because of, what Jay's did to this guy. And I guess, there's still people out there that believe like, nah, that's his son, regardless of anything, because Jay-Z, he refused to take the DNA test. And so Nicki posted that, and she just stirring the pot. You guys know how Nicki is. Like, once she start saying what she want to say, ain't nobody gonna muzzle her. She gonna say what she want to say. And so let me see if I can find the rest of this tweet real quick on what Nicki said. 1 second, guys. Got it. She also said Trevor Noah refuses to come out the closet when everyone in the industry knows his boyfriend, allegedly, by the way. So the rest of this tweet right here says, maybe it's time for me to do some story time since I was trying not to say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying me. She said, also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated and until I tell you about all the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard. So that's what she said in that post, man. I think all of this is very interesting information. I think we got to pay attention to everything, and you got to question everything, and you got to say what's real and what's not real. And right now, man, it's a dumpster fire. Like, bro, everybody is about to get exposed if you in this situation, because this Epstein case, man, 3 million files have been released, almost 3 million files. They say it's 6 million total. Maybe those files will come out later, even though the Justice Department is saying that they don't want to release anymore. They said they released what they wanted to release. A lot of people feel like even the Diddy situation, when they raided his houses, was partially so they can go recover the tapes that he had that would have implicated politicians and implicated people that, were even more important than Diddy. And some people believe that that's the whole purpose of that situation happening in the first place. Diddy was just collateral damage, bro. We had to raid you to make sure you didn't have nothing, that was dirt on anybody important. I don't know. I do think it's interesting that Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're getting that 58 acres in the UK, right next to Ellen DeGeneres and right next to, Simon Cowell. And my antennas always go up when I see different stuff like that, man. We don't know what's going on. I think it's a lot going on, but we're going to just break it down and try to get to the bottom of it, man. I think the main lesson that I take from this and that I try to give to you guys is don't be enamored by success of these elitists, because you don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. You don't know who they sacrificing. You don't know if they out there sleeping with kids. You don't know you don't know what's going on. Nobody does. All we know is what they tell us and what they market to us. And it goes to show you should never defend these people, man. These people are regular people. They're weird. A lot of these people are weird and we don't know it. They're perverted and we don't know it. I mean, even when you look at this picture that Nicki posted, this is a picture of Jay-Z.
Why is Spartan so expensive? Can we please get a better deal? All right. You twisted our arm.
Twist them all.
Aaliyah and Jay-Z and Beyonce. And this is the same thing that people were saying about Jay-Z and Rihanna when Rihanna came out. She was 16 years old and Jay like, yo, I didn't let her leave the office. I was signing her right there. No parents, no nothing, no lawyers, no nothing. Just sign the contract. You're not leaving. Allegedly. That's what the story, that's how the story goes. And maybe they got on the phone with some lawyers or whatever. I don't know.
That's how the
But
story goes.
it's the same allegations over and
That's
over
how the
again. And I don't think you
story
keep getting
goes.
accused of the same thing over and over and over again. And there's absolutely no truth to it. And they say
These are facts that you speak, young man. Yeah. Well, I have my opinion on what happened and what's going on with that. But this is not an me show. This is a you show. What do you think about what just was said? Watch your boy Jay-Z being 30, dating somebody that's 16. It says right here he was 27 and Beyonce was 16. Hey. I got daughters out here, so I know what I think about it. But what do you think about it? And while you think about it, in the meantime and in between time, let me give you a little something else to think about before we get on to the next joint. Let's go.
Ayo, from now on, I'm putting my foot down. They said I was done, but they ain't saying shit now. I be at them tables, breaking this bliss down, getting my residuals, moving like Chris Brown. I keep it original, you know how my shit sound. I'm way more mature, but I ain't put the blick down. They looking like, wow, this nigga say blick now? Not really, motherfucker, it just rhymes with Chris Brown. When I come around, they all gonna skip town like they owe me money or tried to Obi-Wan me. Then I went Anakin, now they all panicking. You could be perfectly dressed, it won't make you a mannequin. You don't even smell the kind of shit that you standing in. Jumped out the window, don't know what you landed in. Cop blocking motherfuckers made me switch up the plan again. Okay, guess what? Nigga, I was built for this, I was born for this. They won't admit that they watch me like a porno flick. The rap game is a toilet, I be on some shit. I'm beyond your shit and all that other corny shit. Me in the game on some holy matrimony shit. This my anniversary, some Tony shit. Load the clip, do a spin, grab my dick on some Michael Jackson shit. Nueve.
There are a lot of questions about it, but nothing on me. But it was even sort of better than that because they found that Jeffrey Epstein and this sleazebag writer named Michael Wolff were conspiring against Donald Trump to lose the election. So Epstein was conspiring with a writer for me to lose the election. So right there, you know that I had nothing to do with this guy. But yeah, it's a terrible thing. The amount of time that's being wasted. You know, when Epstein was alive, like 10 years ago, nobody cared about it. But they're only doing it. But now it's really hitting back on them because Bill Clinton is such a big part of it. The Democrats are pushing it. And the problem is that it's turning out to be the Democrats that were with and conspired with Epstein. So I think you're probably going to see a little pullback from them. But think of it. They were working together to try and help me lose the election. But this is the Oval Office, so I guess that didn't work out too.
It's so funny that Charlamagne and Joe Budden ain't said nothing. Joe Budden usually on X putting on his think pieces. But when it come to Jay-Z being in them Epstein files, he ain't said a damn thing. And then Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club that got her ass dragged all over X because she over there putting her cape on for Jay-Z and is wrong as hell. Even a community note was added to her post. I had to tell sis, like, hold my hand when I tell you this, but it's giving bias and the jig is up. I don't give a fuck what party you're a part of or if you don't like Nicki Minaj. Pay attention to these people that be lying to y'all. You should not want to be like, they think you are not intelligent, and that's the problem I have. And that's why I go so hard. Because I love Nicki, but this is even above Nicki at this point. Stop playing with us.
Y'all be tagging me in all kind of stuff. But they tagged me in this, and the caption was, Charleston White reacts to celebrities going silent about the...
Pause. Let's give a special shout out to Pretty Ricky for his commentary on this next joint. Coming up, Pretty Ricky, Florida.
Epstein files. Oh boy.
What's your name, nigga? Your name is Toby. Your name is Toby. What is your name, nigga? Kunta. What is it? Kunta. Say it again, Toby. What is it, Toby?
The Democrat plantation.
Kunta. Say your name, nigga. Say your name. Toby. Say it again, nigga. Toby. Say it louder, nigga. Nigga. Say it louder. Toby. What's your name? Charlemagne the God. What's your name, nigga? Toby. What's your name, nigga? LeBron James. What's your name, nigga? Toby. Make you niggas ass holler, Toby. Oh, you hear me? Want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
About to get into that. That was hilarious. Yo, once again, let me give it up to my boy, Pretty Ricky. And we off.
For Patriots around the world, I hope everybody is having a great start to a new week. That we have an awesome month of February. I love you guys, man, and you just can't make this up. Backfire, backfire, backfire. Oh, man, you just can't make this up. Epstein, 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 and we got some more things coming out of the Epstein files. And I think this is going to a huge another deep dive on a lot of things they don't want to talk about. There's some they do want to talk about. Some disgusting, make you sick to your stomach things. I tell you, what a disgrace. But Democrats are livid, it says, after the latest Epstein files dump finds that Jeffrey Epstein admitted Donald Trump never got a massage. Damn, Don Tavius did not do anything wrong. That's what they say. He never got a massage in an email to Michael Wolff. Absolutely brutal. He never got a massage, he says. This explains why Democrats have been retreating on the Epstein issue. Why are so many so quiet? We've seen so many that have been mentioned, implicated in the files. People are leaving the country, looks like some are maybe going through a divorce. I mean, man, celebrities, Hollywood, completely silent. I mean, man. You just can't make this up. And it's not looking good for the Clintons. We got some more news on them today. Oh, man. Oh, boy. People are getting sued out their shoes right now. But once again, defamation, false claims, false accusations, can't get it right, lying on the president. Some are still saying he went to the island. Knowing he didn't go to the island, they still get up and crack jokes like it's funny and think they're going to make everybody laugh. Good luck, MC. Good luck. And now you are being sued out your shoes. The hell with the Grammys. And a lot of them that are silent, all they can talk about is ICE. Immigration. ICE. ICE out. Good luck with that. I tell you, a lot of them look pathetic. A lot of them look like clowns, embarrassing themselves. You know, she get up there. No one's illegal on stolen land. How about you go return that $14 million mansion then? Yeah, you know which one we talking about, Miss Eilish. You know which one we talking about. Ought to be ashamed of yourself. No one is illegal on stolen land. The stolen land narrative. Boy, this has absolutely backfired on Democrats, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. They say Trump never got a massage. Trump knew of it. He came to my house many times during that period. The testimony of the houseman confirmed he never got a massage. Trump didn't have no wrongdoing, but they all told us it was a bunch of wrongdoing. Trump did this. Trump is that. Trump is a pedo. He's this. He's that. The big bad orange man. I tell you. And as you scroll through here, it just gets worse and worse and worse for a lot of other individuals. Hollywood, a lot of other elites. I mean, man, some you would never expect, and then some you would expect, you know? Oh boy. But Mr. Michael Wolff, let's type it up, because we just seen what Trump said earlier. Type in Mr. Wolff. Mr. Wolff.
This, I think you yourself, I think the media has done a terrible job on this. I think you yourself, while you're a nice guy, you're full of sanctimony. You become part of one of the parts of the problem of the media. You come on here and you have a monopoly on truth. You know exactly how things are supposed to be done. You are one of the reasons people can't stand the media. I'm sorry.
You're cracking me up.
People have genuine problems with the media.
That's
the media.
What he just now said. You're one of the reasons why we don't like CNN and all that, because you always lying with your big bald head.
It doesn't get the story right. The media exists in its own bubble.
That's true. I agree.
Most people don't want to turn to Brian Stelter to tell us what's real. I'm sorry.
He don't know what's real. He like fabricating stories.
Boy. Oh.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
What did you think of the latest release of Epstein files, and do you think your What did you think of the latest release of Epstein files, and do you think your critics will be satisfied with this release?
It looked like this guy Wolf, who's a writer, was conspiring with Epstein to do harm to me. And I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some very important people that not only does it absolve me, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left, that Wolf was a third-rate writer, was conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to hurt me, politically or otherwise, and that came through loud and clear. So we'll probably sue Wolf on that.
Boy.
Everybody in the family is at some point has to get their due. And everybody understands this. Melania's turn. He is always there and left with to single out her. Literally everybody in the family, which is really the way he sees this. You have whatever you have.
Yeah. Oh boy. But editor and journalist Michael Wolff tells Trump to bring on the lawsuit about Epstein. Wolff is willing to take it to the legal limit. Let's do this and get out the truth.
Threatened to sue me. Up this morning and found that last night Donald Trump had threatened to sue me again. I think this is the third or possibly fourth time the President of the United States has threatened to sue me. Apparently, he was asked about his reaction to the 3 million pages of Epstein files that had been released. And his response was that, well, he was going to sue Wolff, a writer, because I had conspired with Epstein to frame him, I think was his point. And yes, I tried to encourage Jeffrey Epstein in any way I knew how to come forward with what he knew about Donald Trump. And actually, Epstein had started to do that. In my book, Siege, Epstein talks about his breakup with Donald Trump over a piece of real estate in Palm Beach. Now, 3 weeks after that book was published, Epstein was arrested by Donald Trump's Justice Department. As you may also know, Melania Trump threatened to sue me because I said she was part of Epstein's social circle, which we can see in these latest emails that have been released. But the effect of her threatening to sue me was that I turned around and sued her for trying to intimidate me. This lawsuit gives me the power to subpoena Mrs. Trump, Mr. Trump, and all their friends to talk about the Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And by the by, I raised $800,000 in a GoFundMe campaign to fund this lawsuit. So bring it on. I believe that if the American public knew the real nature of Donald Trump's long relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, they would turn away in horror and revulsion.
Horror and revulsion.
So sue me. Let's sue each other. I have nothing to hide, but Mr. President, you surely do.
Boy, that sounds like a good old script right there. I have nothing to hide, but Mr. President, you surely do. Boy, that sounds like a good script. If I ain't never heard a good script, y'all know Rick used to write scripts.
Yeah,
Y'all
that
know
sound like a
Rick
bunch
used to
of
write
old.
scripts now. Y'all know I know a good script when I hear one now.
Yo, man, 40
You know
wolves.
I know a good script when I hear
Go
one
ahead.
now. You know.
And bring them back. Bring
I'll
them back
tell
alive.
you. Wait a second. Yes, Trump knew Epstein. He admitted it himself. The photos of them together are from before 2003. In 2004, Trump did not only borrow Epstein from Mar-a-Lago estate, he also placed a bid on property and won in Palm Beach that Epstein was looking to purchase. In 2005, Trump revealed Epstein's secrets to the BBCSO investigation. 2006, two of Epstein victims confirmed they knew Trump had borrowed Epstein from his estate in Mar-a-Lago. In 2009, Bradley Edwards, prosecutor on the Epstein case, made a public statement that Trump was the only individual who helped in the prosecutions against Epstein. Per victim testimonies on the newly released Epstein and Maxwell documents reveal that Trump was not seen on Epstein's island or anywhere with Epstein. The newly released documents show that the FBI withheld victim evidence in 2009 and 2014. Who was the president in 2009 and 2014? Obama, Barry, and Barry. Oh, and then did you give Tom Homan a medal? In that period, in that period, Tom Homan got a medal. Then y'all was smiling and everything.
Deporting all the
Mass deportations. Oh man, raids, the same raids. Oh man. Y'all celebrated, the fake news media celebrated. I mean, y'all had a good time. People were smiling and everything. People died as well with ICE. Huh. But now Tom Homan is now a Nazi with President Trump. Oh boy. But who was the FBI director in 2009? Mueller. Oh boy. What about 14? Call me. Who led the Russia collusion hoax against Trump? Mueller and Comey. Who has one of the key witnesses during the Russia collusion hoax? George Nadler, who was recently sentenced to 10 years in prison for pedophilia and dozens of images and footage of children being George Nadler, who was the Secretary of State under Obama. Clinton, who did Epstein's victim list on the pedo island. Clinton, who funded Russian nose. Clinton, who fired Comey in 2017. Trump, who praised Weinstein for being a great human being in 2013. Obama, who was Obama's VP. Biden, Who was running for the president against Trump? Biden. Who received campaign donations from Epstein's law firm? Kamala. Who was Biden's VP? Kamala. Research and educate yourself, because if you vote for Biden, the victims of Epstein will never see justice for what they have endured. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. You just can't make it up. But I wanted to get into this. You won't believe what they just found in the Epstein files as well. And we seen Bill Gates at the top of this headline, the top of this frame, and I was like, uh-oh, this can't be good. Let's check it out from Mr. Dr. Steve.
They told us it would never happen. They said the files would stay buried forever. But on January 30th, the Department of Justice dropped 3 million pages that just blew the lid off the biggest scandal of our generation. Those tech billionaires who've been virtue signaling us and lecturing us about social justice and climate change and how to live our lives, they're absolutely panicked, because what these files just revealed is going to force a reckoning they never saw coming in their worst nightmares. That bell and aligned with Congress's overwhelmingly bipartisan vote from November, a 427 to 1 House vote, and a unanimous Senate approval that forced Attorney General Pam Bondi to finally release what had been buried for decades. President Trump signed the Epstein Files Transparency Act into law back on November 19th, giving the DOJ 30 days to make the files public. And what just dropped was 3.5 million pages that have sent shockwaves through the most powerful circles in America and around the world. And looky here, guess who's at the top of the embarrassment list? None other than virtue signaler par excellence, Bill Gates, the man who wanted to force you to inject your children, the guy who's been buying up America's farmland, the billionaire who positioned himself as humanity's savior during COVID. Well, his nightmare just went public, and it's worse than anyone imagined. The newly released Epstein files contain emails where Jeffrey Epstein himself, writing on behalf of Gates' science advisor, claims Gates contracted sexually transmitted diseases from, quote, Russian girls that Epstein provided. Not only that, but Epstein alleges that Gates asked for antibiotics so he could secretly dose his own wife, Melinda, without her knowledge.
Dirty dick bastard.
Now, obviously, Bill Gates' team immediately went into full damage control mode, calling the allegations completely false and claiming Epstein was just trying to entrap and defame him. But here's the problem. Here's what they can't deny. Gates did, in fact, meet with Epstein repeatedly, years after his 2008 conviction. Back in May of 2019, the Wall Street Journal reported that Melinda Gates was deeply concerned about her husband's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. According to these sources, Melinda's concerns date back to as far as 2013, when both Bill and Melinda first met Epstein together. However, according to the New York Times, Bill reportedly met with Epstein multiple times in 2011, which was just 3 years after his first conviction. Again, according to multiple reports, Gates flew on Epstein's private plane in 2013 from Teterboro Airport, New Jersey, to Palm Beach, Florida, visiting Epstein in his mansion that played such a role in his horrific sex trafficking ring. And his former wife, Melinda, made it crystal clear that Gates' relationship with Epstein was a major factor leading to their divorce. So Gates could go into all the damage control mode he wants. In many respects, the damage has already been done. There are so many aspects to his relationship with Epstein that he simply can't deny, most especially that it was a major cause for his divorce. So this new revelation is just par for the course. And Gates isn't alone. LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, the Democrat mega donor who spent millions attacking President Trump, is all over these files as well. Emails show Hoffman made multiple visits to Epstein's properties, including overnight stays at his Manhattan townhouse and trips to what's been unfortunately referred to as Pedophile Island. One email literally states, Reed will spend the night at 71st. That's Epstein's New York mansion. In 2013, Hoffman flew to Epstein's Island with travel arrangements coordinated by Epstein's assistant. And when Hoffman lost his passport, Epstein casually emailed, "Please tell Reed that I have his passport found in the gift bag that they had given me." So this is the same Reed Hoffman who's been funding all the lawfare against Trump, bankrolling leftist causes, and positioning himself as morally superior to conservatives. Now we know he was hanging out at Epstein's ranch in New Mexico and corresponding with him for years. Now, Elon Musk is also in the files, exchanging some friendly emails with Epstein back in 2012 and 2013, but there is absolutely no record of Elon ever actually visiting with Epstein. In fact, Elon's been one of the most vocal proponents calling for the files release.
Yeah, but the left, the Trump derangement syndrome, leftist, radical left, liberals will tell you otherwise. Elon Musk was with Epstein. Elon Musk was with Epstein. Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Now, in addition to all that,
did you watch the interview that he had with Tucker Carlson? I advise you to go watch it. You might not like Tucker Carlson, but it's a great interview. You might want to go check it out.
Actually may have a clue as to why President Trump seemed to backpedal and didn't want to release these files. It just came out this weekend, and it does shed some light on why Trump seemed to backtrack. You're not going to believe this. Gang, we're seeing rising debt, stubborn inflation, limited in the files. Emails show that Lutnick planned a family trip to Epstein's Island back in December of 2012, and that would shed some light on why Trump may have shifted on his commitment to releasing the files. Remember, Trump himself technically is not in the files, meaning that everything about Trump that's in the files was written by Epstein. So there's nothing, to my knowledge, there's nothing that Trump actively contributed to in those files. He doesn't use email. There's nothing in there from Trump himself. It's all Epstein and his own obsession with Trump. So there's nothing incriminating whatsoever about Trump. But I think he may have been worried that some people in his circle, who were some bigwigs in Manhattan's financial circles, which is where Epstein embedded himself, I think Trump was worried that they would be inadvertently implicated in this sordid world. And no, there's no evidence whatsoever at all that Lutnick did anything inappropriate. In fact, all the evidence suggests that he was with his wife the whole time. But given Trump's loyalty to his inner circle, it does suggest that he may have been concerned that releasing the file.
And I've seen a lot of y'all saying that in a previous show that we had. And I've seen it all over the internet, people, saying that. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments, Mr. Lutnick. Yeah. I need to go through with them tax cuts. I need to go ahead and get rid of the IRS, get rid of the this and that, get rid of the private. Come on, Mr. Lutnick. Y'all need to put your foot down. They said they already see you in the files. Now, if you want to distract your name for the files, I need to go and put your foot down and go and get rid of this tax system. Appreciate you. Hell. Bastard.
Would have resulted in some collateral damage to very close friends. Regardless, what is becoming absolutely clear here is that Epstein was indeed running a highly organized, well-financed, international blackmail operation. Former Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben-Menashe claims that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell ran a honey trap operation to compromise globalist elites. Stephen Hoffenberg, Epstein's former business partner, said Epstein admitted to international intelligence ties before his, shall we say, rather mysterious death in his jail cell. Bottom line, Epstein recorded powerful men in compromising situations, then used that leverage to bend them to his will. And we're more and more finding out that his will was merely the surrogate for a larger international deep state ring of intelligence agencies that were keeping international leaders in line with deep state goals. And it gets darker. These 3.5 million pages are only about half the files. There are reported up to 6 million potentially responsive pages, and only 3.5 million have thus far been released. So what's in that other half? Moreover, we need to note none of the so-called Epstein clients have been prosecuted. Yes, it's true, Prince Andrew has been stripped of all his titles, but not one arrest, not one indictment. Epstein is dead. Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison. But the powerful men who participated in this operation, it increasingly looks like a international deep state operation, well, they're still walking free. But Gates, Hoffman, we now know these guys maintain relationships with Epstein for years after his conviction. They visited his properties. They coordinated travel. And when the files dropped, they panicked. So the real question is, what else are they hiding? What's in those other 2.5 million pages that the DOJ has yet to release? And why hasn't a single person on the Epstein client list been charged? It does appear that the blackmail empire has collapsed. The files are out. The light is breaking into the darkness, and the elites who thought that they were untouchable are finally being exposed. It's our job to make sure that this is just the beginning.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. We are seeking accountability and justice. Yes, indeed. Peace out to my brother, Dr. Steve. That was a phenomenal take. Great information. You know, keeping us informed. We love keeping you guys informed, man. Having a good time, cracking jokes. That's what this show's all about, man. You know, but also keeping it real, and we all must seek the truth, man. We all must want accountability. No other way around it, you know. And quite frankly, we wouldn't, a lot of this that we seeing take place wouldn't be going on if Trump didn't get back in that White House. Oh boy. God bless President Trump, man. And I'm grateful that Trump won. Because so much has come out. You know, we might not have liked it this, we might not have liked it that, we might not have liked it that the Epstein files, photo op, people holding up binders. But here we are, man. We got to be grateful for something. I know we didn't like this. We disagree on this, agree with this, and that's fine. We're human beings. We're not perfect. You know, Trump is not perfect. You know, none of us are perfect, man. But here we are in 2026, man. And I hope you are.
Rapmore gang, things are looking bad for Jay-Z. It's been a couple of days now since Jay-Z's name got brought up in the Epstein files. They've been talking about Jay-Z. Was he getting busy with these kids, with Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein? A lot of people have said it's a bunch of cap. Okay, to be fair, a lot of people have said ain't no way that Jay-Z was over there in 1996 knowing Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey. He didn't know Harvey Weinstein until a few years later. Ain't no way, ain't no way. Well, look, it doesn't matter, because what is going on is that everybody is piling on. Everybody that had a problem with Jay-Z is using this opportunity to absolutely demolish him, and things are getting worse for Jay-Z. And there's even rumors that he might have even, you know what I'm saying, hot-tailed it out of America. But one of the people that is going to be the most happy about this absolute craziness, it's, of course, 50 Cent, okay? 50 Cent posted, all right? He said, damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this at 50 Cent Action. All right. Everybody's piling on. This is a good day for 50 Cent. He been waiting to put the boot into Jay-Z. But it wasn't just 50 Cent. One of Jay-Z's biggest and most long-running ops is, of course, Nicki Minaj. And she set the internet on fire with a storm of tweets calling out Jay-Z for some nefarious behavior that didn't even occur on Epstein Island, okay?
America, a country defined by spectacular wealth. But there's a dark underbelly.
That didn't even occur on Epstein Island, okay? She posted, she said, Trevor refuses to come out the closet when everyone in the industry knows his boyfriend, allegedly, all right? She posted, Nikki was right about everything. She on a MAGA run right now, and she posted these very, very suspect images of Jay-Z with young women, okay? I'm pretty sure that's Aaliyah. Jay-Z, age 26, 15. Age 27, I'm pretty sure that's Beyonce, and they're saying that's 96, this is 97. So they're saying, ain't no way anything could be going on with Jay-Z in 1996, surely not. But Nicki Minaj, she putting in work, okay? And she done a whole tweet storm, all right? She done a whole tweet storm rocking out on Jay-Z. She posted this one. I'm pretty sure this is the guy that's been running around claiming that he's Jay-Z's secret son for years, and Jay-Z don't want no part of it. He don't want to take the DNA test. He don't want nothing to do with what's going on. That's pretty savage. She posted this one talking about what in the F, hashtag child predator. Not a great look. She posted this one. She said, imagine if a 30-year-old rapper was out here with a 16-year-old in this day and age and how y'all would have his head on a platter. This guy was hugging and humping on teens in broad daylight. Next, I'll get on the owner of the Shade Room and more. She said in this one, she said, your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. Crazy, all right? And she posted this one in a little bit more detail. Said, are you understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, that's hilarious. You're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story times since I was trying not to say what I know, yet they continue to attempt bullying. Also, I won't be releasing an album until my contract is renegotiated and until I tell you about all the sabotage this Rico is finding out about Billboard. So she reposted the allegations going around that TMZ founder Harvey Levin has also been named in the Epstein files, described as a good friend who could help run global PR effort to defend convicted PDF Jeffrey Epstein and smear his victims and accusers. And people are saying, I guess this explains why TMZ didn't cover Jay-Z being named in the files. Nicki posted that. And this one, she reposted this one. This was a pretty savage one, okay? So look, this is some backstory, and I'm going to dig deeper into these allegations just to give you a little bit of an idea of what was going on, because this is pretty crazy, okay? But basically, it says Jay-Z dated Foxy Brown when she was 15, took her thing when he was 23. Jay-Z was going out with Aaliyah when she was 15, 16, 17, and he was 26, 7, and 8. Jay-Z met Beyonce at 16, started dating her when she was 18, 19. He was 30. He signed Rihanna at 16, and she said in an interview she was flown to meet Jay-Z, who wouldn't let her leave until she signed the contract and locked her in the office until 3 a.m. It says Jay-Z slept with a 16-year-old person when he was 22. She got pregnant, and now the kid says Jay-Z's been refusing to take the paternity test for over a decade because it would mean that he slept with a teenage girl, allegedly. People saying this is photoshopped. Are you okay? Look up Ryan Satterthwaite. The story is so sad. Jay-Z and his team been working overtime to keep this under wraps, all right? And they're saying, shout out Nicki Minaj for speaking on what Jay-Z's evil ass has done to multiple women in the industry and confirming my initial tweet. And then they're talking about the Kathy White allegations. I did a whole video on that. You can go and look into that separately. So when it comes to the Foxy Brown allegation, this is something that's been going on for quite a long time. And what we're going to do is we're just going to look into each of these little allegations in this video, and I'll just give you a little bit of backstory in each one. I'm not saying this definitely is how it went down, but I am telling you this is the discourse. This is what people are saying out there in the public, and it's a terrible day for Jay-Z, all right? This is a post that was going around on Twitter, okay, talking about basically Jay-Z being tied to Foxy Brown since she was like 15. It's a little bit... It's not a good look at this stage, okay? It says, to Sean Jay-Z Carter, we the people would like to know why you at 27 years of age were picking up a 15-year-old Foxy Brown from school. We the people would also like to know why you at 27 years of age had a special friendship with a 15-year-old Foxy Brown. Foxy, we the people would also like to know what you meant by special friendship and why have you nor Jay-Z not sued Wendy Williams for repeatedly stating you had an sexual relationship with Sean Carter while underage, or her show and to your faces. That don't really make sense, but whatever.
Which is odd, but like I said, we grow up fast.
I love Jay, and I'm not. I want to say that too. And I just spoke to Jay this morning.
How is the sex? Is he hung like a horse?
Oh my god,
that's what Artie says.
He's unbelievable.
Is he?
Jay's one. Let me tell you something. No one can do what Jay and I do. Like for real. It's a turner in this industry that I have genuine love for. Like real diehard love for. And it's Jay. For real.
You're sprung. That was her first.
Art.
Art, you think she and J-Bone? You don't have to acknowledge it, Foxy. Just Art. Maybe some foreplay. Oh,
Maybe
no,
a what?
Me. Some foreplay. Bonification boning.
Maybe foreplay? So I look like I.
His mouth has been on your breast before, is what Art is saying.
Oh, yeah? You think that?
Yeah, I think
you have to remember, I'm a lot younger than.
Exactly. And so is Beyonce. He likes him younger.
I just needed a person who can take that position, that girl versus guy call and response, because that's what it is. It's just a fun girl versus guy type of thing.
He was like, okay, why don't we just talk about real life? And I was like, give me 20 minutes. Please don't give a fuck how you move.
All right, we ain't doing music. We ain't doing music. We ain't doing music. Okay, we ain't doing music. Right? There's going to be some lyrics. There's going to be some other stuff in here we ain't going to do. But that's not a good look. It's not a good look. Okay, really not a good look. I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. That doesn't prove anything. All right, it doesn't prove anything. But it isn't the first time this has been dragged. When Jay-Z was going through the height of his beef with Nas, okay, one of the most iconic hip hop beefs in history, Nas would actually allude to a relationship between Jay-Z and Foxy Brown in the lyrics to this song. Okay, he said, "In a pine box with 9 shots from my Glock, fellas. Foxy got you hot because you kept your face in her purse. What, you think you getting girls now because of your looks?"
What's the fastest way to go viral today?
Silly dances, chasing trends, spamming hashtags.
Nope.
Posting more, using trending sounds, commenting on big pages.
Wrong again. There's a new, easier way. It's called instant viral templates.
Instant what?
Instant viral templates. Simple plug-and-play templates based on the top 1% of viral videos using a subtle psychological trigger that makes people watch and share. That means more views, followers, and profits for you.
Sounds too good to be true. Does it actually work?
Absolutely. Over 19,000 creators have already proven it works in any niche, with or without showing your face. No tech skills, no design skills, just quick result.
Okay, I'm in. How do I get them?
Easy. Just click below to download your templates and start going viral today.
See, having money in the markets without protection is like being in the sun without shades, right? The wealthy, however, they have systems where their money is protected regardless of what the markets do. And if you're interested and want to see one of these systems that I personally use, let me show you. So let me ask you something. What if you can get paid every single week just for offering to buy and sell stocks? No day trading, no staring at screens all day, and no crazy risk. Just a simple, repeatable system that prints money week after week. Because that's exactly what I'm about to show you. This is one of the most powerful strategies from Chapter 8 inside my book, The Laziest Investor's Blueprint to Financial Freedom. And it is called the Wheel Strategy. You see, instead of buying and holding stocks like everyone else, this method pays you just for offering to buy and sell them. So therefore, you can get cash deposits into your account every single week. It works whether the market is up, down, or sideways, and you can run it in just 15 minutes a day. So let me show you how it works. All right, let's start with step number 1.
Because you kept your face in her purse. What, you think you getting girls now because of your looks? So look, he was alluding to this relationship, but it wouldn't be okay. This is all the way in 2001. Jay-Z's first big single was Ain't No N-Word off Reasonable Doubt. The song featured Foxy Brown, who Jay-Z was involved with at the time. Accusing a man of having to perform oral on a woman in order to get her to perform on his songs is a pretty damning charge in rap. Hey. Right away, it's the fit. Want to taste the S? Put me on the bass and throw your face in it. Both Foxy Brown and Jay-Z denied the claim of ever being involved with one another, even though Foxy admitted it on Let 'Em Know. What? Oh, the video's not available. That's convenient. It also accuses Jay of hopping around from famous friend to famous friend trying to leech off their success. At the time, Foxy was selling. Same with Mary J. Blige, and Biggie Smalls was perhaps the most commercially successful rapper at the time. Not named Tupac, Jay used them to sell more, something Nas would expand on further on a verse, and the later track, Got Yourself a Gun. it's a little bit crazy. Now, look, both parties have denied this historic relationship, and Foxy Brown would address, she would basically address the rumors and all that kind of stuff on that track, let them know, as we saw in the Genius annotation. So this was kind of going around, okay, essentially. This was an article about it. It says hip hop rumors. Foxy Brown admits to previous affair with Jay-Z. It says disclaimer. And I'm going to read this disclaimer too because I want to make sure this is very, very clear. I don't want to catch that Tony Busby stray. It says disclaimer. All contact within this section is pure rumor and generally has no factual info outside of what the streets have whispered in our ear. Read on. Whoa. There are some rumors that just sound like an ad lib. Whoa. Foxy Brown raps on a new song and the song is very interesting. Okay. And let's just say again, once again, everything we're talking about in this video is pure rumors. I'm talking about the discourse around Jay-Z. I'm not saying all of this absolutely happened. All right, please don't send your hitters at my head. As Kanye said, I'm not even trying to say that, but like Kanye said, Jay-Z had hitters, please don't send them at my head. So I'm going to say the same thing. But anyway, okay, this says Foxy Brown raps on a new song and the song's very interesting. Truth be told, Foxy's been rumored to have been sleeping with Nas, AZ, and more recently Rick Ross. Who knows, but she drops a bombshell in the new song. The streets talking about the hood's going crazy. Dudes heard that I F with Ross and had the dude baby. They say F with Nas. Now they say it's AZ, but on the low, the real dude was Jay-Z. Whoa, wait a minute, what? Wait a minute, what? Now, look, when this track came out, okay, there was a lot of talk about it, okay? There's a lot of different articles talking about it, okay? And even in this one, basically it says the biggest non-shocking shock lyrics will be Foxy saying back in the day she let Jigga Man dip in the Lil Nana. Okay, that's a crazy way of putting it. It says the line's followed by a loud shush, which confuses me a bit because I thought it was common knowledge. I think the shush might be, you know what I'm saying? Somebody got told to shush, allegedly, potentially. Is all fiction. But anyway, this is crazy, right? This is crazy, okay? This definitely is a wild rumor, all right? And basically, okay, there was rumors that Foxy Brown had actually spoken candidly about Jay-Z during a party. And this is craziness. Again, I'm not even going to say what's on the screen, but basically they're saying Foxy Brown denied saying that Jay-Z was a tea chaser, let's say, okay? And this basically is her denying reports. I don't want to read what it says. It says Foxy Brown's furious over reports she trashed Jay-Z, telling TMZ she never referred to him as a gonorrhea-infected tea chaser, and now she's threatening to sue. So look, she didn't say it. She says she didn't say it. It says it's BS. I'm not saying it, but hey, this is a TMZ article, and you know, they saying Jay-Z's friends with Harvey Levin. So it says Brown's referencing reports which say Foxy recently went to a baby shower and started dishing about Jay-Z's S-life to one of the guests, saying he secretly engages in gay things, that she lost her V to him when she was 15 and he was 27. There's more. There was allegations of a robbery, S-tape, STDs, but Foxy said the report is BS, telling TMZ the atrociousness of this story sickened me to my stomach and everyone involved will be contacted by my attorney. Foxy says, in all my years in the music industry, these are the most disgusting and disrespectful allegations I've ever experienced. This fictitious story with no audio, visual, or written interview was clearly concocted with malicious intent. Jay has only been wonderful to me and my family, a great friend throughout all them years, which years? I've known him and we had nothing but great success as a team. She continues, Beyonce is his wife. He's always been gracious and sweet to me. I will not let any undercover hater create discord or disrespect my name or reputation. This disrespect will not be tolerated. Sometimes the biggest protests, you know what I'm saying, come from the biggest bombs of information. Anyway, all right. Nick Cannon would also question Jay-Z's former business partner Dame Dash regarding the nature of the relationship with Foxy Brown. This was a little bit of a spicy moment, okay? This is from Cannon's class, Nick Cannon's pod. It says it's getting very interesting, okay, with the guy Dame Dash. So Romans 2:1, when we pass judgment on someone else, all you do is condemn yourself, for who you judge practice the same sins. That's what the Bible say, y'all. Is it true? Let's see the clip.
Age was Foxy Brown signed.
I wasn't paying attention to Foxy Brown.
But that's
I didn't sign Foxy Brown.
I know,
You put
I'm
me
just
in
asking a
you keep
question.
asking because I'm on the block. I'm responsible for everybody.
You the boss.
Yo, don't beat around the bush. Say what you want to say. What do you mean by that question?
I was just asking.
What are you insinuating?
I'm not insinuating. I just asked the question. I thought Foxy was like 16. That's all I'm saying.
It sounds like
all I'm saying is in this industry, when we live in these glass houses.
It seems like you got a question for Jay. Ask him. Y'all keep asking me questions y'all want to ask him because he ain't here. Ask him. I ain't got shit to do with that, and I don't even know nothing about that. You playing?
You my man.
I know not with me. You playing. When you say that Foxy was 16 when she got signed, why did you say that just now?
When I first was introduced to who Foxy was, I thought there was something between Foxy and Jay.
Oh, you asked Jay. But that's the question you're trying to ask me.
topped out to almost roughly about $60,000 in assignment fees. I've used high-speed delete actually for the last couple of years.
Man, Dame Dash, he dodging, he ducking and diving that question. It's interesting, right? So, Wendy Williams, known for calling out Diddy since the 1990s, apparently has made similar inferences and allegations. Okay, so look at this.
This was allegedly a romantical thing. It's all right. I'll say alleged, but we know. Yeah, she hit it before Beyonce.
Wow. Okay, now, interestingly enough, okay, now let's turn our attention towards Beyonce, because Beyonce has previously detailed the official timeline of when she met Jay-Z and when they begun dating, but there's been a lot of debate about this situation, okay? This is saying 1999 to 2000, Beyonce and Jay-Z first meet, okay? This is from People magazine. This says the former Destiny's Child star previously told 17, ironic name for a publication to tell this particular piece of info too, isn't it? That's fucking hilarious. The former Destiny's Child star previously told 17 that they met when she was 18. All right, why didn't you tell 18 magazine? Which would have been between September of 1999 and August of 2000. Okay, and in 2000, 2001, she 18. That's when they start dating. The pair began dating officially when Beyonce was 19 after getting to know each other. So we were friends first for a year and a half before we went on any dates, she later told Oprah Winfrey in an own interview. We were on the phone for a year and a half, right? And that foundation is so important for a relationship. Just to have someone you just like is so important. Someone who is honest, right? They as soon as she turned 18, they met. All right, this is the official story. This is the official story. We're not having anyone deny this, all right? She turned 18, they met immediately. Boom. All right? And then they start talking, and then they talk for a year and a half, then they get together halfway through her being 19, all right? That's the story. That's the official, that's what happened, all right? I'm not getting sued. That is what happened. That is exactly what happened. And I'm not trying to hear from anybody else who wants to offer a different perspective on their early relationship. Oh, no, whoops. No, I just pressed enter. What?
I know people been around for a long time.
So this is, okay, an Art of Dialogue interview with Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, and he's offering a different perspective on this, okay? He's explaining that look at the title of this clip, all right? I'm not saying this is facts. I'm not condoning this is absolutely true. I'm just letting you know that this is the discourse going on around this situation. And this is Gene Deal calling out Jay-Z for dating a young Beyonce when he was in his 30s.
Was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17. Something. You didn't know his age. I look back and seen how old Jay-Z was. I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something.
Jay-Z? No way Jay-Z was born in that. Wait a minute. No way. Oh, what? Yo, Jay-Z really born in big 1969. What the hell? Bro, he ancient. I'm old. I'm getting pretty old. I'm not going to lie, but like, bro, he ancient.
Something like a 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they say she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene's. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old, and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than.
So look, a lot of celebrities lie about their ages. That's the one thing, okay? People saying Gene knows all the tea, but he never sees the kettle boiling, y'all. That says now he know Jay-Z like that. The people saying that's so true. The internet is definitely the downfall of common sense. I'm just starting to think he's going with a narrative as if he knows, but he don't. So people are doubting it. If you don't know Beyonce's age, then what's the whole point, Cap? Okay, so look, we're going to give Jay-Z some bail, all right? People saying it's Cap. What are you saying? You don't even know what the hell are you saying, bro? You're listening to Jill, who ain't got nothing to do with Jay-Z, was never around him or employed by him. Nada. He's getting his coins, giving his opinion. Nothing else he says is facts. If she over 18, she legal. She might be immature as hell, but you can't do nothing about it. It's legal. If the official story as told is that they met when she was 18 and they got together when she was 19 and a half, that's legal. Some people think that's creepy. Some people think that's weird. If it's legal, it's legal. I do feel like sometimes people, Sometimes people want to take something legal and kind of like shine it up to be something illegal to pop someone down that they don't like. I don't think that's fair. If it's legal, it's wrong. If it's legal, you know what I'm saying? It's legal. But a lot of people have debated it. But right now, in these comments, people are defending Jay. So I just want to make that very clear. Okay, just want to make that clear. That's what's going down. Okay, that's what's going down. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much. I don't know why I'm so jittery on the screen. But it is what it is. You can still hear what I'm saying. So, okay, additional allegations would surface from an industry insider basically suggesting that Jay-Z might have maybe manipulated things, put together certain circumstances to try and get with Beyonce. And look, all right, Beyonce definitely the prize. Beyonce definitely the prize, okay? This is just an allegation. I don't want to get in trouble. I really don't want to get in trouble over this, okay? I don't want to get in trouble, okay? Look, again, I'm not condoning, I'm not saying this is absolute facts, okay? We're just looking at some of the discourse around this, all right? But there's basically a pretty crazy thread on Twitter, okay, that basically is digging into this debate, all right? This says, seems people are having the debate on when Beyonce met Jay-Z and started dating him. Thread of timeline. Beyonce met Jay-Z in 1997 when she was 16 years old and he was 28 years old. Now, look, I'm not seeing IDs in this picture, but that's what they're saying. That's what they're claiming, okay? It says, basically,
real business owners, let's say your personal credit is shot. Let's say you build business credit. Let's say you've got...
claiming, okay? It says, basically, look, there's claims, right? It says Beyonce was easily manipulated as a teen. All she knew was school, music, rehearsal, and media training. It says Beyonce was a gullible country bumpkin. It's not hard to see how easily manipulated a teenage Beyonce was by a 30-year-old Jay-Z. It said Jay's own man said Jay never had an adult relationship and Jay liked teens. He knows Jay's been around B. He said Jay manipulated the situation of them being on a plane together, so Jay would end up sitting next to the Beyonce to continue spitting game, and Beyonce broke up with her boyfriend at 18, 19, and Jay moved in. Now, look, let's just hit the clip.
Jay-Z was able to move in because she was heartbroken. And Jay came in like the snake. What's happening? Why you over here crying? Jay had to manipulate. See, people, they hear this thing, it just happened to be we was on the same plane at the same time. No, it wasn't. Jay knew she was going to be on the plane and had it arranged that he was going to be on the same plane. Don't let Jay fool you. Jay's a snake. Y'all don't understand that. Yeah, after all these years, y'all ain't figured this out. Y'all done seen all the activities of this dude being a snake and then still don't want to believe he's a snake. 17? Oh, that's Jay's age there, ain't it? If it ain't a teen, then he don't get his attention. Rihanna was a teen. All of them was teens. Rosario Dawson, teen. Aaliyah, teen. Man, it's a bunch of teeners.
Now, look, this is just some guy on Twitter with a 240p camera yelling into the mic, okay? But what he's saying is very interesting, let's be real, okay? This is him, right? Can we really trust this account? Can we really trust this account? He posting a lot, all right? He posting a lot. He's definitely not feeling Jay-Z, all right? It says, I remember when Jay-Z's name used to, this is Keep Six Solid. When Jay-Z's name used to come up talking about the greats like Pac and Biggie, now it comes up when we talking about Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, Oprah, the Clintons, Trump, and many more. It is crazy, okay? But moving on to the next detail, all right? According to Dame Dash, he would claim that both he and Jay-Z were fighting over Aaliyah, but at the time, to be fair, she was 21 years old.
You know, I've known Puff for 30 years. I haven't been to any one of his parties, especially on the LA side, you know, not even in probably 20 years. So that was the 4th of July, and that's when he was with Jennifer Lopez. He had a barbecue. You know, we were all staying in one house, me, Aaliyah, Jay, a couple of friends. That night, no one knew who Aaliyah was with, and that's how we wanted it. You know, because at the time, her and I, you know, we hadn't like actually gone there like that yet. And, you know, me and Homeboy was both trying. So no one knew who was messing with who. And, you know, that night we left early. I left with Aaliyah. And that's the night that the magic happened with Aaliyah and I. So that was a magical night for me. You know, I'm no.
So Aaliyah was of age at the time, right? But let's not forget, okay, this was basically, you know, a few years after we basically found out that R. Kelly had illegally married Aaliyah when she was underage, right? And this is something Dame Dash touched on as well. I mean, if you've seen Surviving R. Kelly, you'll know all about that.
No, it's not a conspiracy. So what I heard is she's coming up, and the whole challenge where she used to be married to R. Kelly.
15, she wasn't married.
15 years old,
You
right?
can't
And
be
they,
married 15 to a grown-ass man.
I know, but
So then why would you still listen to him knowing that they said he married a 15-year-old? That was the issue, that you knew it was illegal to be married to a 15-year-old, and the dude could actually put out a fucking album that says AJ nothing but a number.
right.
And y'all gonna listen to it and not say a word. That's where people should be ashamed of themselves.
I'm with you. I agree. So
But what's the conspiracy?
So then it's not even.
So obviously this marriage, you know, there was talks that R. Kelly had falsified the ID or the wedding certificate or anything like that. But basically, okay, it seems like everybody was fighting over Aaliyah, whether she was a minor, whether she was an adult. It sounds like Dame Dash and Jay-Z were having a little love triangle going on with Aaliyah when she was like 21. But according to Dame Dash, Jay-Z chose to collaborate with R. Kelly despite knowing about Aaliyah's abuse history and despite the fact that it was an open secret in the industry. So it seems, at least from the fact that Jay-Z doing 2 albums with R. Kelly, the behavior that R. Kelly was putting on, that everybody knew about, was an open secret and pretty much accepted.
Right. Did Jay know about what he did to Aaliyah?
Did he know that everybody knew R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15? Everybody knew that. So was the conversation had like, yo, how you gonna go and do something with this dude? Hell yeah, that conversation was had. Hey, you think I'm soft? Pause, like I'm punk? So that didn't happen. I was like, yo, how you gonna do a project with my motherfucking girl? We had the conversation. Why would you still with a nigga with someone that raped your girl? Would you still do anything with that person? So why would anyone expect me to? Like that's what I don't understand. I'd be like, yo, people be like, why? Just that alone. There's a lot of other shit, but that alone was like the nail in the coffin for me. I was out of there. I was gone. Trust me. After that, I don't want to be nowhere near. I knew that shit was gonna blow up. I didn't want no parts of that shit. Like I was like, I don't want no parts. That's not good money. So I was done with him for that.
How did Jay respond when you confronted him about it?
You know how he is. It's like, yo, I ain't nothing to do with that.
Damn.
So look, all right, I don't want to say, look, okay, you got to make your own minds up, okay? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm not going to say anything else, okay? I'm just letting you know these are the conversations that are being had. This shit is going crazy on Twitter. This is going viral. A lot of these allegations, they ain't nothing new. There's been a million interviews, a million conversations about this situation. Now, what is really crazy, now there are unconfirmed reports going around that Jay-Z has left the US to an undisclosed location, okay? It was going around a few days ago. Jay-Z's jet took off from Miami, Florida, United States. People saying, who cares? I think we care. People saying he's on his way to Epstein Island. They're saying he got to go have a talk with Epstein's peeps. He's getting scared. There's articles, again, this is all unconfirmed, all right, but this is going around now. It says Jay-Z reportedly leaves the US after Epstein files mentioned him as Beyonce suffers 10 million follower drop. It's an unverified FBI tip, all right? Let's just remember these are unverified tips, but it's just reignited, okay? It's just reignited, all right, a whole bunch of early stuff that has, you know what I'm saying, that's a bad look for Jay-Z. Now, I think Jay-Z's probably going to be fine. I feel like if anything really was that serious that genuinely implicated him in crimes of this severity, I think they would have already been put on him. We've seen surviving R. Kelly. We've seen surviving Diddy. I think that we would have actually seen Jay-Z's a bigger fish than these guys. If there was really genuine dirt on him to the level where they could actually get him and put him away and prove that he committed a crime, I think it would have already happened. I do think a lot of this is just crazy, out of control gossip. I do think that there's definitely some things that are making me give the side eye, but at the same time, I just don't think there's enough. I'm not sure. Look, Jay-Z probably goes on vacation all the time, okay? So if his private jet took off from Miami and went to somewhere else in the world that's not the United States, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's on the run. He probably vacations every day of the week, right? This guy's a billionaire, right? He's a multi-billionaire. He is rich as...
Man, knock it off. They always try to make excuses for why these people did what they doing. Man, just say it, man. The boy on the run. He knew it was ahead of time. It was getting ready to go down, and it's going down. And he hit the bricks. It's your boy Brando knows.
Whatever happened to Don Lemon? And yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. I'll explain why, and I'll also explain why I still think that doesn't matter, and I think it's a good thing. So Don Lemon, obviously a total joke of a journalist, if you can even call him that. Somehow he got launched into pseudo-stardom while he was at CNN. And if you go back and look at some of his old clips, believe it or not, he actually used to give some like halfway decent advice to people. I don't know if you remember those segments. I mean, you can look back. These are old clips where he would tell young black men to pull up their pants and act responsibly. Stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of clips of this, but if you look, you can find them. But something flipped in Don Lemon. He got infected with the woke mind virus. It's a real thing. And this virus became the downfall of not just him, but of mainstream media as a whole. Journalism, information sharing, all of it started collapsing at once. And normal Americans with common sense started realizing that we were being fed a load of absolute nonsense. And Don Lemon just happened to be one of the loudest victims of this virus. I mean, this happened kind of a little bit after COVID and all that, but eventually CNN cut him loose, and now he's out there struggling on YouTube like the rest of us, trying to be interesting without the artificial megaphone of a corporate media empire. And it wasn't going well, not at all. Low views. There were still some diehards following him because of name recognition, but compared to what he had on CNN, it wasn't even close. Still not. On CNN, he just read the news. On YouTube, you actually have to earn attention, and he was flailing. But if there's one thing about Don Lemon, it's this. Believe it or not, he might be dumb. He might have some of the most idiotic takes you've ever heard, but he does have one redeeming value, and this is really the only good thing I will say about Don Lemon. He's persistent, and he's also got hubris. In his own mind, Don Lemon is the smartest guy in the room everywhere he goes. And it's absolutely hilarious. So when he decided to storm into a church with protesters, that became both the best thing and also potentially the worst thing to ever happen to him. The only way it turns into the worst is if Pam Bondi, the DOJ, and the Trump administration actually decide to make an example out of him, which, considering what Pam Bondi has done up till now, I doubt they will do. I still don't think that matters. But here's why it's the best thing for Don Lemon. Now he's getting standing ovations at the Grammys. He's on Jimmy Kimmel. He's back in the spotlight. This is literally Don Lemon's wet dream. He is loving it. The faux sincerity, the fake confusion, when he talks about, oh, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know what was going on. I was just a journalist. This deceit. These lies. This is where Don Lemon thrives. He plays best in the lies and fraud. And even if this is good for Don Lemon, I still think it's also good for American people and for Christians. Because if behavior like his isn't met with some kind of force, despite thinking of what would happen, even if it's just a slap on the wrist, what message does that send? If the attitude is, well, we can't arrest him because the left will turn them into heroes, then pretty soon nobody takes the law seriously. Pretty soon people believe there are no consequences. And in Don Lemon's case, punishment isn't just about the final outcome, believe it or not. I mean, sure, jail time would be one version of punishment, and I think that would be great. I think that Don Lemon should face jail time. But there's also the process, and we talked about this with Donald Trump for years. The process itself becomes the punishment. Court dates, restrictions, disrupting your ability to operate, dragging you through the system. And remember, I don't know if you remember this, but Trump couldn't even campaign properly because he was constantly in court. That's what's happening to Don Lemon now. The process is part of the penalty. And it's funny watching this whole charade play out on Jimmy Kimmel. So he went on Jimmy Kimmel, and Don Lemon is furious. Well, he's pretending to be furious. He actually loves this because he doesn't think that there will be really a end result where he sees any legitimate consequence. But despite the fact that this is going to be taking a lot of his time, he loves it because now he's back in the spotlight, which is exactly what he wants. But he's also pretending to be furious over what happened. Of course, he's going to play up every single act, the way he was arrested, how he was arrested, the grand jury. He's going to pretend it's all fake. But in this clip, I want you to watch this because it's absolutely hilarious. He is feigning being furious because he says he offered to self-report, and he is very unhappy because instead the FBI just showed up and arrested him, which is hilarious because over the past 4 years under Biden, conservatives dealt with exactly that. James O'Keefe, journalists getting raided. There was a journalist from Blaze Media, I forgot his name. Mar-a-Lago getting ransacked. This all started with Democrats. They started weaponizing the DOJ, and now that a Republican administration is in charge, because the American people finally said this is insane, it has to stop, suddenly Democrats are crying. Now they're facing the same consequences they created. And they are actually breaking real laws. And Don Lemon is pretending to be shocked by this.
Walking up to the room, and I pressed the elevator button, and all of a sudden I feel myself being jostled, and people trying to grab me and put me in handcuffs, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "We came to arrest you." And I said, "Well, who are you?" And then finally they identified themselves, and I said, "If you are who you are, then where's the warrant?" And they didn't have a warrant, so they had to wait for someone from outside, an FBI guy, to come in to show me a warrant on a cell phone. And by that time, I was trying to, figure out what was going on to get my bearings. They dropped all my stuff. My glasses had fallen on the floor. I'm like, I can't read that. So they had to pick my glasses up, and I read it. And still, what does that mean? So, and then it was a bunch of guys, and they took me outside. FBI guys were out there. I mean, it had to be maybe a dozen people, which is a waste, Jimmy, of resources, because I had told them weeks before, and maybe once or twice, that we would, I think my attorney tried to contact them once, maybe twice, that I could just go in, and it would have to be the folks who were just working there that day, and they wouldn't have to have all these people following me around.
It's more than just a waste of resources. So they grab you and they take you where?
Well, you're right about more than just a waste of resources. They want that. They want to embarrass you. They want to intimidate you. They want
and you
to
deserve it.
Fear.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is just absolutely BS right here. Yeah, you know what? How did the people of the congregation of that church feel when all of a sudden all these people rushed in and started screaming in their face? How did the kids feel? You expect us to feel bad for you? You deserved every bit of that, and you are whining, you are playing it up because you want to be in the spotlight. Who cares? You deserve to be scared. You know what? The FBI should have went harder. They should have thrown you down on the ground and arrested you and actually, done a little more than just say, hey, you're under arrest, in my opinion. In my opinion, they should have scared you like you and the protesters scared the people in that good church in St. Paul. I have absolutely, it's like zero sympathy for these people. They cry out as they strike you. They cause problems. They do all of this stuff. They cause chaos. And then when it gets turned back on them, all of a sudden, it's just the worst thing in the world. So I absolutely feel zero sympathy for these people. In fact, I think they're just a bunch of massive liars. Also, Jimmy Kimmel, of course, he's giving this all a platform because, I mean, he obviously has beef with Trump too, because Trump tried to get him off air and all these other, sue him and all these other things. But they are also, they have a problem with the grand jury process. They for some reason, when it's turned on them, all of a sudden they had a problem with it. But when it was turned on Donald Trump and by a weaponized DOJ, it's really funny how the change of one administration causes a complete flip in the opinions of these people. But take a listen to Don Lemon and Jimmy Kimmel whining about this grand jury process, which was totally legitimate, by the way. You can read the FACE Act. You can see that Don Lemon violated the FACE Act. It's not, you don't have to do all this mental jiu-jitsu like with Donald Trump and the Stormy Daniels thing. Was it the Stormy Daniels ones where they had to, attack all? I mean, there was a law that was outside of the statute of limitations, and then they had to do a special provision for 1 year. You can bring accusations that were related to sexual assault, and those perpetrators could be arrested. I mean, it was just like a 1 year provision. Like, there's all these mental jiu-jitsu that you had to do, all these things you had to bring together in order to go after Donald Trump. But in Don Lemon's case, it is just like so obvious on its face, no pun intended, because it's the FACE Act. They say you never should explain your jokes. That was an unintended joke. But, it's obvious on his face. You can just read the FACE Act that he violated. But they are still not happy with the fact that he was indicted by a grand jury. Take a listen.
The DOJ goes around and tries to find, and correct me if I have any of this wrong, some judges to charge you, and the judges say, no, we're not going to do that.
I think it was 2 different judges and an appeals court. I think so. It was 3 altogether.
And then they find a grand jury.
Right.
And are you familiar with how that happens? Like, how do they find this group of people who are willing to bring charges against you?
I don't know. I'm not that, astute with it, but at least I don't know the process that well because I'm not an attorney. But, I assume that they figure out who the folks are and they send it to them, and then they write up the indictment as to what they want charged, and then they give it to them. But you can write whatever you want. to an indictment, as I've been doing some research. You can say whatever you want, and for even if you lie about it, prosecutors can pretty much say what they want with impunity, and they don't face any sort of consequence.
Well, let's take a look at this grand jury process, how it applied to Don Lemon's case, because I think a lot of us knew, we have eyes, we can read a law. We can tell that Don Lemon violated this law. I mean, it was just open. It was just obvious on its face that this law was violated. When the DOJ went to these judges and they were denied twice, it was obvious that it was for political purposes. And this is how you can go to a grand jury and actually get someone indicted without these politicized judges. And that's just how it is. So this is what happened. In this matter, federal prosecutors from the DOJ investigated Lemon's involvement in covering and reporting on January 18, 2026. The protest targeted the church because one of the pastors reportedly held a position with ICE. Prosecutors initially tried to obtain arrest warrants through a federal magistrate judge, but were denied at least twice, including an appeal, with judges citing insufficient probable cause or evidence of criminal conduct, which, I'm sorry, that's BS. That is not true. If this were a mosque, if this were a synagogue, you wouldn't be afforded that same doubt from judges. You would be slapped down hard. These judges, they're bunk judges. They are not enforcing the law. They are completely politicized, and everyone knows it. As an alternative path allowed under federal rules, prosecutors then presented the case to a federal grand jury in Minnesota. The grand jury heard evidence from prosecutors, likely including witness statements, video footage from Lemon's live stream, social media posts, and other materials alleging planning, involvement, obstruction, or intimidation. So this is another completely legal route that you can go down, because the DOJ and the rest of the United States, well, at least good American citizens that can look at these things with clear eyes, we're looking at this and we're like, no, he definitely broke the law. And these judges are saying, no. And they're citing, because this is a giant political battle right now between Donald Trump, the DOJ, ICE, and Tim Walz and Jacob Fry. So they're looking at their own election possibilities if they were to rule for Trump DOJ, or if they just kept this out and kept themselves out of this. So this is totally political. What they rule has nothing to do with the law whatsoever. So the grand jury, though, it's held in secret. Don't know who these people are, so it's much more fair. They voted to indict Lemon and 8 co-defendants, including journalist Georgia Fort and several protesters, on 2 federal charges: conspiracy to deprive individuals of rights and violating the freedom of access to clinic entrances, which prohibits force, threats, or intimidation to interfere with religious exercise. The indictment was unsealed around January 30th, and I went through a lot of this indictment on a different video. But these liberals over there on The View, remember when they used to absolutely love grand juries? Oh, they thought they were the best things ever. I want you to listen to this. I'm going to show you a contrast, a before and after of the beautiful women on The View talking about the grand jury process and how absolutely fascinating it is.
I want to thank this special grand jury, because they have been meeting for weeks and weeks. They've done this incredibly seriously. These are not people with a political agenda. These are regular New Yorkers. Donald Trump finally won a popular vote yesterday. The grand jury voted to indict him. I want to
Would you look at that? So, yeah, this is not politicized. It's in secret. Wow. They absolutely used to love grand juries back when Donald Trump got indicted on a grand jury. But now listen to what they're saying about grand juries now. Now they're just all fake. Now they just, this is all fake stuff that is going on with Don Lemon, even though, literally, all of his crimes are on video. You can literally go on X. You can watch them, the whole process from start to finish, because he live streamed it all. And then you can go and read the FACE Act. Now, that's the one I've read. I haven't read the rest of them, but you can read the FACE Act, and it absolutely applies. And even though he says that he has this freedom of speech and freedom of journalism, that doesn't apply when you're trying to stamp out someone else's First Amendment right. It's a complete, logical, flowing process. But, of course, I don't think anyone has ever accused Democrats of being logical. But take a listen.
These are facts. We'll never accused them of being logical because they're a bunch of jerk-offs that don't care about no one but themselves. And until you realize this is what's going on, you stay that victim. But now that you know